welcome everyone to a very special, are we calling them episodes? Video on the Bevvy YouTube channel. We are global. We are in Bulgaria for the Sofia Whiskey Festival, and we're delighted to be here at Whisky Bar Caldo with the owner Mladen. Thank you very much for inviting us and having us here, and your hospitality. It's very, very appreciated.
Yeah, Bevvy boys on tour.
Yeah, who'd have thought? It makes a change from just having drams in Edinburgh and having a chat.
I think for anybody who's watched the videos before, we were getting tired of drinking Scotch whisky in Scotland, but it turns out there's some pretty good Scotch whisky over here in Sofia as well.
Yeah.
And this bar is one of the best whisky bars I've ever been in. Genuinely, across Scotland, across America, the selection here is ridiculous. And you're responsible. So if you could tell us a little bit about the history of Caldo Whisky Bar Caldo, how did this all start?
10 years ago, I was part of the whiskey alcohol industry in Bulgaria. I was responsible for different brands, like a brand manager. One of the brands are Teomordiu, Macallan, also famous grouse, also Jim Beam, and I decided to say stop to the, the official distributor, and to say yes to my personal feeling and to my passion. And I opened the bar 10 years ago.
Amazing.
With 30 bottles, now are over 500.
And it really is your passion. You've been over to Scotland, you've visited the distilleries, you've been to the whiskey festivals in Scotland. I mean, you've done the research. So then to come to a place like this, in your own capital, to have 500 malt whiskies from the world, as you say as well.
Yeah, from the world.
A great Japanese and American selection as well. You must be really proud of what you've been able to build here. And is there more whiskey fans in Sofia now that are coming to your bar and learning about whiskey?
During this years, the whiskey society in Sofia and Bulgaria growing.
Yeah.
Small steps, but growing. And I'm very proud that my place is part from this whiskey culture.
Yeah.
And
for the last 3 years, you've taken that to start doing this festival.
Yeah.
And that's why we've really came along. We've came along to kind of experience a different whiskey festival. So you are one of the organisers of Sofia Whiskey Festival. And this year is your 11th year, which is amazing. I can't believe this is our first time here.
Yeah, and it's we were blown away by it, because
Yeah.
maybe a bit of arrogance, but we're from Scotland, we're from the UK, we've got all the famous distilleries, will have the best events.
It's true. It is true. But we were totally naive, actually. An incredibly diverse audience, all the big brands, which actually a lot of time at the Scottish Whisky Festivals, the big brands aren't there because they're all over the world. There's been a really good list of exhibitors from all over the world, Scottish people coming over, and then also Eastern Europe having their sales reps there. And I didn't realise that actually you have so many unique bottlings for the market too. So what we have here, obviously we're going to drink a whiskey, we have a single cask Glen Scotia, and this was created last year for the festival exclusively.
Yeah, exclusively for the festival. Only 224 bottles.
Amazing.
And let's try.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a little
Glen
taste.
Scotia as a distillery, obviously in this place you've got an incredible selection, as Ross says, bottles from all over the world. How is it that you select which bottles you have? Do you just try to have a full range of everything? Do you just focus on your favourites, things that sell well? What's your approach?
First, I sent emails to 3 distilleries, and I received the answer from Glen Scotia.
Yeah.
Right.
And they offer me very interesting selection.
And so they give you samples and everything?
Yeah,
and you
of
got
course.
Amazing.
Yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
received from Glen Scotia 3 samples, and I chose one of them and say, this is my soul.
Yeah.
I found my personality in this liquid, I would say, and chose this.
It's really exciting. It's very rare we get the opportunity to try a whiskey with somebody who selected the cask. So let's have a little taste, a little smell, and you can tell us what made it the winner for you.
Okay.
This one's just 5 years old as well, Laurie. We've been drinking a lot of younger whiskey on the channel recently and realising how good it is.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know, maybe it's a sign of us maturing at last, but it's like, you know, when you first get into whiskey, you think, well, there's a 12-year-old, 15-year-old, and 18-year-old, and 18's the best because it's more expensive.
Yeah.
But you get to a stage, I feel, with whiskey where it is all about the character and the experience of tasting it. And we've tried some amazing whiskies which are 3, 4, 5 years old.
Annoyingly good whiskey. And I think it was naivety to think that a 10 and 12-year-old is where the market should start. Particularly, I think, Ardnamurchan and Wireworks White Peak. We've had some outrageously good whiskey that's turned out to be 3, 4 years old in the last couple of years on the channel that has really been amazing. And the nose to this isn't an immature nose. It's not a youthful nose, actually. It's really creamy. It's a bourbon cask that you selected?
Yes, and it's only 5 years old. And the interesting for me is that alcohol percentage is 58.6, and I'm not feeling this aggressive.
Yeah, no,
you're right.
It's a very welcoming nose, isn't it? In terms of people who visit this bar and the festival as well, do you find they're generally kind of whiskey experts already? Like, do you have people coming here who are completely new to whiskey that you have to guide through? Or is it a mixture?
It's a mix.
Okay.
It's a mix. Some of the whiskey fans, they're very curious. They want to know the new brands. They're a little bit boring from the, I would say, the standard brands.
Yeah.
Of course.
So they want to try something different.
Yeah, something different. And the other people, mainly young people, 25, 30 years old, they want to start with the standard and popular
official bottling, recognizable,
and to make the first step to understand what is whiskey and what you have to feel in the whiskey and why we choose some brand without pricing and to understand the story behind the label. And this is my, I would say, passion, and want to learn the young people what to find and how to choose the brand.
Yeah, I must say, I hate that you talked about young people as 25 to 30. As somebody who's 33, I feel now.
As somebody who's 25, I feel
No,
great
you're
about
professional.
that.
You're professional.
Yeah, I thought I quite liked you, Mladen, but not anymore.
It's been quite interesting. We do drink a lot of Scotch whisky, of course, in Scotland. I had no idea just how important this market is to the brands. In here, you've got Kilchoman, exclusively for Bulgaria. One of my favourite distilleries, Arran, exclusively for Bulgaria.
Arran also.
Laurie's doing the tasting video of a Highland Park single cask as well. So you're getting some really high quality whiskey exclusively for your market, which means we're going to have to come to Sofia more often. Let's have a little taste of this whiskey. I've had a little taste already. Very warming. It's, again, not too youthful in terms of the palate for me. It's creamy.
It's got that classic Glen Scotia character. I think
it's got the coastal.
It's got that maritime feel to it. I think in contrast to some whiskies which are very cask-led, this is quite refreshing because there's, some creaminess and vanilla and honey and stuff from the bourbon, but it's in proportion with the spirit as well. It's very nicely brought together.
Yeah, really interesting. You in Whisky Bar Caldo, you're getting brands that are coming and doing tastings as well. You're hosting tastings as well, whiskey tastings.
Some of them I hosting. The unique of the bar is that if you are 2 or 3 people, I will organize a personal tasting,
like a customized flight and all. Amazing.
Yeah, and some of the brands organizing events here with brand ambassadors. Last week here was Jack Daniels brand ambassador, Chris Fletcher. He's not brand ambassador, sorry.
He's a
master blender.
Master blender.
The master blender.
Even more impressive.
And he did a tour in Europe, and Bulgaria was part of this tour.
Amazing.
And the bar was full, 40 people,
just
big fans.
Realistically, for some people that's a once in a lifetime. If you're a real whiskey enthusiast, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to get to speak to a master blender or to some of these brand ambassadors and learn about the brand. And so it's great that people in Sofia have something that offers them that. I could do some serious damage in this bar. I think we'll need to come back after the festival and have a little whiskey tasting with you at some point. This has been a real pleasure. I've had a little bit of water and it's really opened up as well. What's your thoughts of the whiskey? From when you picked it last year and now you've got it in the bar, it still has that character that you appreciate about it. It has that Campbeltown feel for you.
Yes, the the first impression from my first feeling was that is not very aggressive whiskey, and but with character. And when I compare with other samples, was very fruity. They was very aggressive from the cask. They were 7 and 8 years old. And in this case, I prefer to be more gently, not to be aggressive.
And it's more about the spirit of Glen Scotia rather than the cask that it is for sure. It's got some lovely kind of, for me, green apple, citrus notes.
With a few drops of water, it mellows out lovely. And I think it's like the word smooth, in the UK at least, we always like, people who don't know what they're talking about always just describe the best whiskies are smooth. But this is, you know, mellow and rounded, and there's none of that aggressive character that you are keen to avoid.
It's been a pleasure to share it with you. Thanks for welcoming us into the bar, and thanks for inviting us to Sofia Whiskey Festival.
It's a pleasure for me, guys.
Thank you so much.
For Bevvy.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks.
If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Bevvy content. We want to hear what you think, your best whiskey experiences, the whiskies you want us to try. It's a really exciting journey we're on, so make sure to join us. Download the Bevvy app on Google Play and App Store to keep track of your whiskey journey, connect with your whiskey friends, keep track of your favourites, anything you could ever want to do with whiskey, all in one place. It's the definitive whiskey companion.